to SkywayTj, guys, and a continuation of our spooky spectacular. Today, as you can see by the title, we will be ranking the entire Evil Dead franchise. This series has been one of the most iconic series in all of horror, and it started off with its low-budget roots with the visionary Sam Raimi at the helm, and of course, mostly carried by Bruce Campbell and all of his wacky performance. And I don't think these movies would be as good without him. Today we're going to rank all 5 movies in this franchise. It's a very short franchise, but somehow it left a big impact on the horror world. And here are my opinion on all 5 of these movies. Let's go. All right, at number 5, I have Army of Darkness. This movie is the only one in the franchise that I think is a little bit too much for me. In this movie, Ash gets transported back to medieval times, and he ends up fighting evil Ash, and there's all this wacky shit going on. While these movies have always been slightly comedic since, especially from 2 onward, this one takes it a little bit too far. I do think if Bruce Campbell wasn't at the helm of this one, that it wouldn't work at all. And I'm sure people have love for Army of Darkness, but for me, it just goes a bit too far, and I just really can't get into this one. So unfortunately, it's the bottom. But I do think it's watchable, and if you like this type of movie and atmosphere, then you'll like Army of Darkness, obviously. But for me, Army of Darkness is at the bottom, and it's okay. Next up, surprisingly to even me, I have the original The Evil Dead. This movie, you could tell this was like one of Sam Raimi's first feature-length directorial things. It has all the makings of a project that's made by friends and family that just want to get a movie made. It's like that low-budget type of movie. And I don't think it's bad. I just want to make that clear. I think it's a very good start. There's a lot of good camera work, and you could see the groundwork for what Raimi's style would be in this movie. It's just, you know, there's only 5 movies in this franchise, and one of them just has to be a 4. Evil Dead's pretty good. Again, Bruce Campbell's in there, and he's doing the best in the movie. There's a lot of good shots. You get introduced to the Necronomicon in this movie. It's fun, but it has to be at 4 because I just like the other 3 better. I'm sorry. At 3, I do have the newest entry in this franchise, Evil Dead Rise. This movie came out a few years ago, maybe last year. Time is fleeting. But yeah, this movie's horrifying. It takes place not in a cabin for once. It takes place in the city. A mom gets, possessed by the book because somebody reads out of it and shit. And it's horrifying. The final girl trying to protect these kids is so good. And of course, there's just gallons and gallons of blood. Evil Dead Rise also has like the best title intro I've ever seen in my life. Goes fucking hard as hell. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise, it was just one of the scariest movies I've seen in theaters. It's very, very good. And yeah, that's why it's in the 3 spot. It's an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. Next up, I do have Evil Dead 2. This is often considered people's favorite movie in this franchise, and that's fine. I understand why. This is where, after the underground success of the first movie, Evil Dead 2 got its footing, got a bigger budget, and Sam Raimi was able to do more of the things that he wanted to do. And you can see that this movie is also a little bit more comedic, mostly due to Bruce Campbell. This is where he gets his iconic chainsaw hand, and this is where he starts to get his boomstick. The boomstick is really more prominent in Army of Darkness, but all the things that you know about Evil Dead really come from this movie. Mostly Bruce Campbell's iconic performances being groovy, the chainsaw hand, all that shit. Most of it happens in Evil Dead 2. It's very good. It's one of those cult classic movies that if you're a horror guy, you know about Evil Dead 2. And it deserves its spot in the horror legends. It's a very good movie. And Sam Raimi, he's the GOAT, for real. So that's why it's in the 2nd spot, which might be sacrilegious, but I just have love for this next one. I'm sorry. But at number 1, I have Evil Dead from 2013. This is a remake of The Evil Dead. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, who directed the most recent Alien Romulus, and he also directed Don't Breathe. This movie, it does all the shit that I love from the first Evil Dead, and it just amps it up and gives it a modern setting. It follows a girl who's trying to kick an addiction to drugs, and she's in this cabin with her friends, And it just gives this really fun dynamic where they can't leave because they think she's trying to leave because she's going through withdrawal or whatever. But no, she's actually being possessed by the fucking deadites and shit. It's very good. It has such good practical gory effects, and the ending, she's covered with so much blood. It rains fucking blood. She fucking rips her whole fucking hand off because it's trapped in the car. It just impacted me more than any of these other movies, even Evil Dead 2. So yeah, I have it in the #1 spot, and that's probably sacrilegious, and I might lose my horror buff card, but I'm sorry. This remake actually kicks ass. I don't know. So out of these 5 movies, that one's my favorite, and I'm sorry if I've upset you. I really am. I am. Well, guys, that was the Evil Dead franchise ranked from my enjoyment. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more. I'm trying to hit 400 subscribers by the end of the year. Yeah, this franchise is so very interesting. I love Sam Raimi's visions, and I love Bruce Campbell. And these movies only got better, if you ask me, besides Army of Darkness. Anyway, we'll be back next week with my wrap-up of September, and then after that we will be doing rankings of Nightmare on Elm Street, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Halloween, so stick around if you're excited for that. I'll be back next time with another video, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye!